Hello and welcome back to another making tutorial for Corby's Puppetry Course. So this week I'm going to teach you how to assemble your puppets and give you some ideas on how you might decorate your puppets. This week you will need your puppet pieces from last week, a plastic bag, some paint, paintbrushes, scissors, glue, some craft foam, and anything else you might have at home that you want to use to decorate your puppets. So first things first, we need to assemble all of our pieces together so we get a puppet that looks something like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to attach all the pieces to the body using plastic bags. So we need to make some holes in our body. Now we basically just need to poke a hole where we want our pieces. So we'll start off with the head. You can either use a pair of scissors or a sharp pencil. And essentially what you want to do is find where you want to put your head and just give it a nice stab. Especially for this one, you want a nice big hole to go through like that, which will let our head slot straight in like that, and then we can grab it through there and we can operate our head. Next, the same thing with the arms. So work out where you want to put your arms on your body and make some holes. Hole there. The legs will need 2 holes. For the arms, you want a hole on your upper elbow. And on your legs, you're going to need 2 holes right at the top. You can go straight through with your pencil to get a nice straight line and make sure your holes match up. And now we have our holes to put our limbs in. We need to cut up a plastic bag into little strips that we're going to use a little bit like string to tie all the pieces together. It's better to have your pieces nice and long so you've got plenty of room to tie all of your pieces together. You're going to need 4 of these rectangles for your 2 legs and 2 arms. Now we can start using our plastic rectangles to tie all of our pieces together. We're going to start with the arms first, and you want to give it a little bit of a twist. And then find your armhole and thread it through. When you've pulled it through the other side, you want to tie a few knots in your plastic to stop it going back through the other side. So around your finger, make a little loop and through your loop. And you give your pieces a little bit of a test. If you pull it, try and pull it back through and see if it will fit or not. So this won't go through. So we know we've tied enough knots. Now grab your first arm, and now we're going to bring the plastic bag through our cardboard tube. If you're struggling to get it through, you can just poke a pencil and that will help it get through the hole. Okay, and pull that through. So we need to work out where we want our arm to hang. You don't want to bring it nice and tight because then you won't be able to move your arm very much. You want it a little loose so that you can move this in any direction you like. When you're happy with your length, you can start tying some knots. The more knots you have, the less likely your arm is to fall off. And there we have it. That arm is on there nice and tightly, and you can move it around. Any excess you can just snip off with your scissors. Now we need to do the same again for the other arm. So give it a little bit of a twist. And there we have 2 arms. Now the legs work slightly differently. Tie our knots at the end of our plastic through one of your leg holes and up. And then through the body. Let's go through our first hole and straight back out this second hole. Through this hole here. And then back through the leg. And we'll tie some knots on this bit here. We want to make sure that the leg has enough room to swing. You don't want to pull it too tight, otherwise you'll get stuck. They won't be able to move. You want a little bit of wiggle room so the leg can swing about like that. And same again with our final leg. Through the hole. Bring it back through, line it up with your first leg and tie your knots. And there we go. If you've got any excess, feel free to cut it off with your scissors. And then you can just slot your head right through. And there we have your puppet. So all that is needed now is to decorate it. Now there's almost endless ways that you can decorate these puppets, but in your packs we've sent you some stuff that means you can do this. So I'm going to show you how to make something a little bit like this. So you can take this further and you could cover it in fabric or stuff like that. Here's one I made a few years ago using a similar technique. And all I've done with him is given him some baby clothes. So if you're good at sewing, you can make your own clothes, or if you've got any old small clothes lying around, you can actually dress up your puppets like that. But like I said, I'm going to teach you how to paint your puppet and cover it in some craft foam. So first of all, I would recommend covering the whole of your puppet in one base colour. Now I'm going to make mine into some sort of monkey because I've made the R's nice and long, so I think he'll make a really nice sort of monkey character. So I'm going to go for a brown base colour, but depending on what you're making, it can be any colour at all. Now the paints you've got in your packs are acrylic paints. These paints work best when they're watered down, so you're not going to need an awful lot to cover your puppet. If you are mixing colours, do this first. So as I'm making a brown, I'm going to mix a bit of blue, a bit of red, and a bit of yellow, and that hopefully should make a nice brown. Now I've got a nice brown I'm happy with, so I need to just add a little bit of water. I've got a little cup with some water in it. You just want to pour a little bit of water at a time, so just a little tiny drop. We'll mix that all in, and that is probably enough. And when you've got your paint all watered down, mixed together and ready to go, you can start painting. It's a good idea to put down some cardboard so you don't get paint on your table. You may need a few coats of paint to cover up your newspaper. When you're happy with your base coat and it's dried, you can paint on any extra details. For my monkey, I've painted a yellow tummy, a yellow face and some paws, but you can paint on whatever you want to. Clothes, details, features, anything you like. Right, so now we've got our puppet painted, we can start decorating it with craft foam. I'm going to go nice and simple with this one, and I'm just going to make the facial features out of craft foam, but you can make hair out of it, you can make clothes, you can make anything you imagine out of the craft foam. For gluing your craft foam, I'd recommend using PVA, but you could also use your Pritt stick. I'm going to make my nose and my smile out of this as well. Don't worry about any of the PVA spilling out, because when it dries clear. And when you finish decorating, you should have a wonderful cardboard puppet. Make sure you share some pictures of your puppets on our WhatsApp groups. Join us for one of our 3 puppetry sessions this week, where we're going to learn how to bring these puppets to life. That's it for this making project, so I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.